Thank you very much.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor and it's a privilege to be in the presence of one of our renowned environmentalists, Mr. Mete Kodomi, and I think I'm seeing somebody familiar there. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You are all welcome. Basically, we all know that the most important thing about ourselves is the health. Is the environment, and it's also our surrounding. A man is shaped based on what he sees and what he feels. You know, we all, if I ask the next generation or any young guy around Lagos, where do you want to stay? Do you want to stay in Ajegule or do you want to stay in Banana Island? Everybody wants to pick where? Banana Island. Why do they pick Banana Island? Because they find probably the environment is what? Is good. So which means you can see that a clean environment is something that not only affects you, it affects your social being. Every day I tell people, when you wake up, the first thing you should do is go to the nearest tree around your house and prostrate to the tree. And people say, why will I prostrate to the tree? Yes, we need to prostrate to the tree because that is the source of what? Oxygen. Without oxygen, we cannot what? Survive. And what gives us this oxygen is the trees. So which means every day we wake up, we need to go to the next tree around us and say, thank you for giving me the oxygen for me to what? To survive. The population in the world is growing at an alarming rate. Imagine if we don't have the thing that will extract the carbon monoxide we are releasing inside this room. In less than 5 minutes, what will happen? Everybody got shocked. So that is how important protecting our environment is. Look around you. You look at the PET bottle, you look at the water. Most of the things inside here are provided by what? The environment. So if you don't use them in a way that it is sustainable, we will all end into what? In doom. We will all end in doom. No amount of things we do, if we don't preserve the next thing, while we are growing up, we normally have what? Pipes, water pipes. And those water pipes are made of what? Lead. They are made of iron. They are made of steel. But because it is not sustainable, we change to what? To plastic. And if we continue with the plastic, if we don't use the plastic in a sustainable way, what's happened? It's also what? Affects us. That means taking care of the environment is taking care of what? Our life. For most of us who grew up in Lagos, I can recollect my Dr. Marco Bajakodumi. We can take our boat from the Oba's Palace and put the boat inside the water and follow it up to Ikoyi while we were young. Any kids that tried that now, the next day will land in what? In the hospital for what? Cholera. It's basic as that. You can sit in marina for most of us domino and you look at the blue water in marina where we were growing up. But now you can't what? You can't do that. That is how polluted our environment is. One of the major things that is affecting human being now is what? Cancer. And those cancer are what? Environmentally induced. Environmentally what? Induced. Air pollution in Lagos is a problem. And because we have not seen a situation whereby the earth system don't tell us environmentally induced earth disaster, that is why each and every one of us, we are not covering our nose. The cancer rate in Lagos is going at an alarming rate because the way people are burning plastic, PM 2.5 coming from exhaust of diesel, of petrol generator, and even the cars is affecting our health. Family people who are not asthmatics, who don't have lung issues in their family, their children born in Lagos environment are becoming what? Asthmatics. That shows that things that are not hereditary, diseases that are not hereditary, our environment is what? Inducing it, and is what? Is affecting it. One thing that is common, if you live in Lagos or you are somebody that's you grew up in Lagos, if you move out of Lagos and you are talking with anybody in the east or from the north, the first thing they will say, you are shouting. They say you are shouting. I just tell them, no, I'm not shouting. Everybody in Lagos, we are always what? Shouting. Why? Because the environment we grew up in is already what? Noisy. So it affects not only your health, it affects the way you what? You live. Driving along Lekki Expressway from Ajah to VI every day, no matter how cultured, no matter how disciplined you are, you will take up the culture of what? Are you serious? Are you mad? Are you this? That is environmental activities what? Affecting you. But if you drive on a road that there's no traffic, there's no matter, you will not need to insult the next person. You don't need to argue. Your blood pressure will not what? Increase. So which means if you don't have to use an AC. You don't have to use an AC. For those who have traveled out of the country, you drive California or Brazil, where they have a lot of beaches. Most of them don't use the AC because the cool air and the breeze and the trees gives you exchange of what? Oxygen. But here in Lagos, what do? On the AC 24 hours, get into our house, we on the what? The AC. We are not allowing our lungs to have direct what? Breathing with what? The natural atmosphere. And that affects what? Our lives. Let's look at what we are eating. Let's look at what we are eating. Buy anything, fruits, any natural fruits now. Buy them and keep them in your house. In less than 2 or 3 days, even less than 1 day, what gets? It gets what? Spoiled. Because the pollutants are getting into our food, and it's what? It's getting into us. I'm sorry for people who eat seafood, and I know most of us here in Lekki, we eat seafood. One of my popular joints is just opposite here. If you see the number of microplastics inside our seafood now, you will be alarming. That is just microplastic. Talk less of heavy metal that is there. And one of the most important heavy metal is lead. Lead affects the intellectual property of growing what? Children. So if we are not exposed to lead, and our children are exposed to lead, they will not be more intelligent than us. So environment is actually affecting us, affecting our health, affecting the way we behave, and also affecting the what? The pathway. Coronavirus has shown us that we need to what? Take care of what? The environment. If you are not, okay, I don't like environments, I don't like this, but what the pandemic taught each and every one of us, within 24 hours, 48 hours of lockdown in China, the whole cloud that is already what? Dirty in China becomes what? Clean. Clear, and they can see the next what? City. Because the human beings who are polluting are what? Are locked down. Fishes, animals that are not coming close to East London are moving what? Closer. Because the human beings who are the most polluted, the dirtiest, are what? Are locked down. So this shows that human beings, we are what? Affecting the environment. And if we don't take care of the environment will not what? Take care of us. People in Lagos, the death rate in Lagos is what? 40, 45, 60. You go to the east, you go to the north, you go to the interland, and you still see people 97, 98, 100. The last time we saw 100 in Lagos, probably some of my whole family in Dosumu in Lagos Island. That is where you can see. I've not seen anybody growing up in Lekki in Ikoyi that is 98 years old dead. You will not see. It is 65, 45 that you'll be seeing. But go to the east, you still see people who are breathing natural air, who are eating vegetables that are what? Not polluted, living up to what? 100 years and what? 90 years. So that's enough to tell us that the environment we are living in is what? Polluted. And how can we do something? Unless we do something, unless we put our efforts together, the environment cannot be what? Better. So, individually, I normally give this example. There are 1,400 flats in just distance there. So if each family in 1004 takes PET bottle a day, and all the flats are what? Used up. That means we generate an average of what? 1,400 PETs from that household. VGC has over 700 housing units. If all the house flats are what? Occupied, that is what? 700. That is the amount of plastic that is not going into the what? Into the dump sites. We went to different schools in Lagos, and I said there is no way most of the schools in Lagos should be throwing away their waste. Waste from schools are institutional waste. Plastic can be recycled. The food remnants from the children can be collected and can be used as feed for pigs. They can be used for food as what? For animals. So which means most of the schools who said we don't have money for PSP, you don't have to give your waste to an operator, because the paper can be recycled by paper mills that use for tissue paper. The plastic, you can sell the plastic. The food remnant by the children can be used for manure, can also be used for animal feeds. So which means they don't have to waste money for what? For PSP. Come back to our homes. Come back to our homes. I say there's something going on now, and I don't know what we are doing. Our windows of buildings in Lagos are becoming smaller. They are becoming smaller, and we are trying to, Nigeria will like copy. We want to develop our houses with UK standard and American standard. Most of this is something that environmentalists have to what? Look up to. So, we need to save ourselves by saving the environment. The thing we are breathing in from the environment is polluting us. The food we are eating is polluting us. The air we are breathing in is what? Is polluting us. So what do we need to do? We need to educate. We need to educate. And I thank God for Madam Loretta. The group, they have been doing a lot of things. And you go around Lekki every week, every month, there's always one sensitization, collaboration with government and everything. And that is what we need to do. People don't know about the environment. People just take environment as light. But it is important for us to what? To do that. Another thing, biodiversity. Biodiversity. If you get home, ask your children, when last did they see a butterfly? When last did they see lizard? Lizard, butterfly, ants, we don't see them around. We were having an argument one day. Somebody said we should try and eliminate all the rats in Lagos. And I said, if we eliminate all the rats in Lagos, within 48 hours, when you get out in the night, there are some ants and there are some insects that the rats feed on. So it's like an ecosystem. So if we remove the rats, all the insects and all the small microorganisms that rats will feed on will now what? Tend to start what? Affecting us. There's a scientific study that says if the house cockroach touches an human being, the cockroach will look for another corner and clean itself. Yes, the cockroach will clean itself because it cannot go back into where other cockroaches are. It will hibernate because they know that there are some secretions in human being. If you get it to them, it will affect them. Also, some wild animals, elephants, if you have interaction with elephants and the elephant is going back into the head, they will ask him to what? Stay away. Because the secretion in human being has what? Has entered your system. Don't come and what? Affect us. So I wonder, those are animals. Those are animals. If you go to where animals live, you see their footprint. Their environment, they make sure they what? They clean everything. Go to the beach. You see human beings, they will leave their footprint with what? With waste. So, this World Cup, we are able to see that people can do it. After every matches, the Japanese sports supporter go around the stadium and what? Clean the whole stadium. The day they lost, they did it. So, you see, so cleaning the environment is not one person thing, it's everybody. So we need to do what? Educate, we need to what? Take action. We need to educate, we need to what? Take action. It is in this part of the world that we don't write petitions to government. We don't write petitions to government. We don't go to the Senate. We don't go to the House of Assembly to fight for rights. People fight for water rights. People fight for different kind of rights. People fight for animal rights. Anytime they see any sea turtle strand around Lekki, they will take it and they come and display it in Chevron. Who buy them? Big men. And these are the big people that will say, okay, I am traveling to UK, I am doing this. So we need to take action. I won't be part of this. I won't buy a toxic material. There are companies that sell toxic pollutants, that sell toxic things. We identify them and we say, okay, I won't buy from them and I won't do this. So these are things we can do. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Please let's appreciate him again, Mr. Adedoyin Lasisi, Deputy Director, Ministry of